big man, put the money in my pocket. No, take the eyes at your socket. I know you're dead, but I heard that you talk shit. I go up to your coffin, I load up and pop it.
So randomly generated droids is a roguelike game that has a classic-esque theme to it, like classic Roblox, and it's very, very hard. So randomly generated droids has a variety of classes they can play as, which I'll be listing, which are only the standard ones, so the ones that you can get with points by playing the game.
If you're gonna play like that, you better have shockwaves to finish the job. Because if that guy had shockwaves after he railed me like that from behind.
That was my gang. We love casting spells.
Did you get that? Well, that's too bad, because I'm going to be explaining even more things like the rooms. So in the game of randomly generated droids, there are 100 rooms, which scale in difficulty by like where you are. And there are currently 10 worlds, and the world switches every 10 rooms you go to. So the first world is Sandy Canyon, second is Mount Whirl, third is Lush Canopy, fourth is Violent Volcano, fifth is Elemental Heights, sixth is Chill Hills, seventh is Crystalline Caves, eighth is Metropolis, 9 is Atomic Factory, and 10 is Droids HQ. In every single world, you introduce a new droid. So, like, let's say the second world, you get introduced to the Tornado Droid. That sort of adds a variety to the gameplay, in which makes it more fun. So I'm going to be talking about the droids, but there's a little bit too many that, and I don't really want to list them, so the names are very, very obvious to what they do. So weak droid is weak, average droid is average, strong droid is strong, gunner droid is gun, just like a ghost droid, he does the John Cena, hunter droid, he does the Payday 2 thing guy, which does the funny kick. Power droid, cryo droid are obvious. Zero droid, he basically does all your movements, he does your jump, but he copies your walk speed, but not 100%, it's only 90%. Rapid fire droid, it's basically the same as gunner droid, but it's beep, 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 beep. Anyway, switch droid is this very annoying, it just switches with your position, is shamble. And there are a bunch of world exclusive ones, so only ones that you can find in the world, like the Tornado droid that I was just talking about. Yeah, that's a bunch of droids that are very difficult to get because they're all secrets. Because there's a lot of secrets in the game. So I kind of forgot to mention the fact that you fight with. So you fight with swords, crossbows, slingshots, and ray guns. Swords are the only melee weapons in the game. Everything else is ranged. And the ray gun is special because it has a capacity of 100, and every room you get +2 ammo, and every other weapon you have a finite amount of ammo, but the ray gun is good for like stocking up ammo at the end game. For swords, there are two types of swings. There's the slash and the lunge. And some swords, they make it so that you can only use slash or you can only use lunge by making the damage very, very low on one of them. And the more expensive the sword gets, usually the best quality it gets, the more damage it does. And some swords have special abilities like freezing lakes, freezing lava, and stuff, and doing more damage to enemies with fire traits or ice trait. I have no clue how that works. So this part is just full of my sort of thoughts of randomly generated droids. And I think the theme of the game, it's not that bad. It's kind of like a mix of old Roblox and new things, but I don't really think it's that original, and it's not really done the best way. I think the GUI looks a little bit plain, but that's just me. And I think the building is not the worst. It actually does fit the theme, and I think it looks pretty good. And some of the buildings are pretty creative for some things, like the city one. I think that one looks nice. A lot of them just look really good. So if we're going by like the theme and stuff, I think the animations, they're alright. They could be better. I think it would be better if they made the old animation, they remake it, but after they make it like new, they add some stuff to it to represent the new Roblox, the new version. When it comes to the scripting and bugs, I haven't really found anything that horrendous. There's not really any glitches that I found that I can get at the top of my head that make me really angry. And all the swords, they work as intended. The crossbows, they work as intended. Everything is pretty good, except the only thing that I don't like is that when you shoot the crossbow, if you want to hit them, you gotta hit their torso. You gotta hit the enemy's torso, which is a little bit weird, but it's just me. Honestly, there's not really much things to say about the modeling, since the models are kind of like old Roblox skiers and stuff. But I think the potions do look good. They do really fit the criteria of the theme, and also the mana spells. Everything that's kind of original. And I kind of like how they use old Roblox assets, old Roblox meshes, because it really just gives that vibe of like old Roblox, but also new, because they mix it in with a bunch of other stuff. About the microtransactions, they're not terrible. I think the only things that you can actually buy with microtransactions are just classes, and also getting 2 points, double points for more classes. All it really does is just lets you play the game faster, lets you get classes faster, but it doesn't make the game easier. Well, I guess the classes do, but still, I think it's pretty good. It doesn't really shove it up your face. It's just like, oh, it's on a sign, and you can buy it if you wanna, but there are other classes that are pretty good too. I think the gameplay loop is actually pretty satisfying, because you don't really get super angry once you die, because it's not that long to get to like where you were. Like if you're in the volcano one, it doesn't take too long to get back. Also, it's just really fun. I don't know why, but I've literally never gotten a single win, but I still find the gameplay loop fun. Well, not right now, since I'm recording this like 3 fucking months after I started making this video, but still, the gameplay loop is pretty enjoyable, even if you're like garbage like me. So yeah. So I'd give this game like a 7 out of 10. Some things I'm just not a fan of, but some things, like the gameplay loop, the setting is but the building is pretty good. And yeah, I'd give it a 7.
Thank you.